Welcome back. Quake Pro League action coming at you. I am 40 Lions, joined with ZSX. We just finished up our second series of the day, Effortless versus Dehang. Dehang taking that one 2-1. But I think we're going to get into a real rail heavy battle here as we have Kilson and Sparty up next.
Watch them both never use it now, you know.
I jinxed it. I
You
jinxed
did.
it. It's probably well within the realm of possibilities where they're just like, no railgun for us. But we are going to see maybe. I have a feeling. Call it a hunch. One of the new maps.
Wonder why you think that, my friend.
I don't know. I have this weird sixth sense. But yeah, so Kilson and Sparty, let's just talk about him in general. Kilson, an absolute monster. He's held the belt before, had a pretty strong run throughout season 1, looking pretty strong season 2. Sparty, how do you feel about him going up against Kilson right now? I'd say Sparty's kind of the underdog here.
Sparty's one of those guys that has it in his locker to take maps off anyone, but he also has it in his locker to lose maps to everyone. Um, and
Well, when you put it that way, yeah.
everyone does, right? But he's so erratic, it's unbelievable. But he also has one of the most cultured skill sets in terms of overall mechanical skill, but it's also very hit and miss. So he's incredibly fun and frustrating to watch at the same time. I do feel that Kilson is a bridge too far for him. I think he's actually been showing a bit more consistency recently, and more often than not, the results he pulls in are actually a lot closer than they look. So I love Spotty. I do think the Kilson challenge for him is maybe a bit too far.
We'll see the cheetah here as, again, he's been a previous winner. He's smelled victory before, was close to having the 2-time there, as we saw the dreams dashed a bit back at QuakeCon. But that's in the past. He's looking forward now. Again, every map is money, and on the way towards maybe another title shot, you're going to want to stack as much money as you can. But it's never a party without Sparty. So I'm looking forward to seeing him high flying action. He, again, as you said, he has the ability to completely pop off. We've seen him go crazy with the rail game. I know Kilson is kind of railson, but I think Sparty can fight back depending on the day and depending on what he's eaten. As sometimes he'll post his breakfasts on Twitter, and it's just the breakfast of champions, as I'm sure you're aware. Probably 40, 50,000 calories, it looks like. But I mean, you need all that energy when you're playing Quake, so makes sense.
I'm sure you do. And yeah, I just feel that Kilson's the type of player that preys on your mistakes, plays very positional, and Spidey's someone that does give you openings and will overextend and want to engage in close combat and generally any combat he can find, and that's something that Kilson relishes in, which is why it's quite a difficult matchup for him.
Setting up the traps here, kind of luring his opponents into a false sense of security where they think, I want this fight, and then Kilson will absolutely punish them and say, that's not the fight you wanted, but thank you for the frag. But I think we can get into the picks and bans here shortly and kind of look at what we're dealing with in terms of champs and maps. And oh, look at that. Tower of Koth.
Wow,
Weird.
you were right, Sporty Lions.
I don't know what that's the first time in my life, so we'll see. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that home with me and cherish that. We got Galena Nyx on Tower of Koth, and we got Blood Covenant. We got Ranger and Athena, and for map number 3, we got Molten Falls Strogg versus Visor. So right off the bat, Tower of Koth, first time ever. Looking forward to it. The map is gigantic, so I'm looking forward to how they traverse and how they play, especially with that Nyx. I feel like Kilson might be able to get 1 or 2 frags and just play keep away.
I think you're right. Like, I've played it a couple of times. I've seen it playing on stream a couple of times. I'm obviously no expert in it, but yes, big map, rail heavy. Nyx plays into that kind of play style, and Nyx is the safest bet if you're not particularly comfortable on a map, just because you have the Ghost Walk as the fallback. The rest of the picks and bans pretty standard throughout. We obviously love the use of Athena on Blood Covenant. The verticality on that map is probably her best map in my mind, alongside Awoken, and then Molten Falls, Struggle Pika. We've seen that earlier today, very effective. And Visor plays into the way Kilson loves to play anyway.
And I know Nyx is going to be a bit of a nuisance on Tower of Koth. That wall jumps, the invis, all that on a map so big. But I think, that's Sparty's map pick. Maybe he's got something with totem positioning with Galena. Like, there's got to be something there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why the Galena would work that well on that map in particular, but I think Galena's a strong pick anyway. You have the totems to restack. If you get 3 up and it is a big map, you could probably hide them. It's some unusual position on the map. You might be able to get the overstack quite easily as well. And if you just want to engage in these long-range rail battles, then you're never going to get jumped on. So you can just fall back onto your totem, and it gives you that additional boost.
And with those long sight lines, I feel like there's going to be a lot of rail battles, but I don't know. It's been something that's been kind of under wraps. A couple players have played it on stream, but hopefully we'll see more and more of it. But the first official map right now for Tower of Koth is going to be right now between Kilson and Sparty. Any predictions?
I'm still gonna go with Kilson 3-0. I think like Sparty will keep it relatively close. I just think Kilson's got an edge for sure.
One of these maps I feel like is just going to be a complete blowout for Kilson, to be completely honest with you. But I'm going to give Sparty at least a map. I'm going to go 2-1. Maybe he'll pop off. We'll see. Maybe it's Tower of Koth. Maybe he's been practicing under an alias. Who knows? But it was his map pick. We're going to get into it the first time, seeing it on Quake Pro League. Tower of Koth live now between Kilson and Sparty. Map number 1 for this series.
Yeah, let's see how this map gets played. World premiere on Koth. Don't get to say that every day.
Totem. Sparty throwing down that totem and giving a nice big delay to this heavy here. It's 10 seconds and immediately walking, stalking his prey now. He could actually get the jump on him. Ooh, the rocket from Kilson is just better. Forces out the ghost walk here. Sparty needs to be so careful. Kilson wants this frag. Comes back in to fight. Sparty makes his way towards the Mega, and he's going to have timing on it. He spots it, but he doesn't want it?
It's just Sparty things.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want this.
Has delayed it. Heavy is still up, though. I'm not sure Sparty would have got the audio on that either.
If Sparty would have pounced on the Mega first, he would have made, you know, a run to have both items, but instead the items are traded reverse. Oh, a rocket right in the breadbasket into the rail. This has to be the kill. Kilson wants it. There it is. The rail from around the corner after the aggressive ghost walk. Beautifully played by Kilson.
As clean as you like. Barely taken any damage so far, and here we go. The rail comes through already, and nice damage coming out from Sparty, though. Will delay Kilson just a little bit, but he's got both major items on lockdown now, and quite happy to stride around the map, even though his Ghost Walk isn't up, especially when you hit rails like that. Sparty slightly cornered as he is stuck by that teleporter and manages to get out just for now.
Oh, ooh, that's a fantastic rocket from Kilson there. Still maintaining position. Sparty does have the high ground here. The fight for the breakout, and that's a good rail. That might make Kilson think twice, and it does. He does have the Ghost Walk, but he's going to go ahead and trade items. Again, the sync is there for the items. And I'd like to see a little bit of a delay, as we saw kind of on the first spawn, where Sparty gave it 10 seconds and then immediately didn't grab the Mega and go back, so the items were back in sync. But 1-0 for Kilson. We kind of figured it would be a slow-paced game. We've seen a lot of damage come out, but no actual frag yet besides Kilson. So I'm wondering if Kilson's going to keep this pace. There's no reason to kind of go too overly aggressive unless he goes crazy with the rails.
Well, this is the way Kilson likes to play. He will maintain positions somewhere in the mid-ground, use the audio cues. He'll play extremely slow for all intents and purposes. Use audio cues to open up rail angles, and as soon as he's hit 1 or 2, he'll then just go in aggressively. It's the Kilson way.
The Kilson way. Well, it's been the championship way before. Let's see if this is going to be a building block towards that again here. His Ghost Walk is up, casually making his way, and he's doing a good job of finding these totems. The map is pretty big, so props to Kilson for getting rid of as many as he can. That's a fantastic rocket there. A bit of a throwaway it looked like, but right on target as he grabs the Mega and items are traded once again.
Yeah, this gives me vibes of Elder back in the Quake Live days, the way it plays a little bit.
Back in my day. Half the people in chat are like, what does that mean? How old is ZSX? He's 17, how dare
old
you,
enough
chat.
to be your daddy.
Well, right now, Kilson's the daddy. 1-0, holding on strong here. And a game of shift champions coming out from Kilson. Here's the rocket from around the corner. Sparty does a good job of putting on the brakes there, not running into that one.
He has found him here. The Ghost Walk is up. He might need to pop it. He does, and he actually olays through that rocket. Doesn't take any damage. Nice
Wow.
rail as well. He's just chipping away at Sparty. He hasn't done enough yet to feel confident to make a move, but he's done enough to secure both major items once again.
Just a casual drive-by rail. Just another day for Kilson. Just making it look effortless here. 4 minutes in, still 1-0. Sparty's doing a good job of stacking back up. Stack's about even here, but Kilson has positioning on this Mega again. Good rail there from Sparty, going in for maybe more. That's a fantastic rocket. Every time, be it rocket or rail, Kilson's getting good damage.
And it doesn't feel like Sparty really has an answer just yet. He's only done 400 damage to Kilson in 4 minutes.
Slow and steady wins the race here, as he
Yeah.
has overstack for what it's worth. Does have a pocket totem as well. So he just needs to find one really clean opportunity, but the problem is he's giving Kilson so much time that Kilson is almost always going to have Ghostwalk available.
Exactly, and this is the problem with such an expansive map when you play and can play that keep away game is how do you ever kill an X? You have to literally find her, trap her, pop the Ghostwalk, and guess right all in one.
Wow.
He has done the former, but he hasn't done enough damage. In fact, he's only going to double back
Oh.
to try and deal some damage, which he does! Oh, Kilson, that was a mistake.
He smelled blood, but it was not to be, as Sparty uses that overstack well and the shotgun to finish it. Kilson did a great job of popping him over the heavy and stealing it right out from under him, but it all went horribly wrong, and Sparty ties it at 1. Now looking pretty strong here as he's diving back into the heavy room. That's a great rail from Kilson. There's so many angles you need to clear in that pillar room here, and Sparty just had no idea. Overstack again, and there's the rail defensively trying to get back out of there, and he does.
Well, this is
It's
what we
very
asked.
scary.
Why do you pick the Galena here? And we've seen the prevalence of overstack throughout this map because it's just so big. There's incredible options for totem placement, and Kilson hasn't done a job of clearing them out. He has been
Oof.
forced to pop the Ghostwalk, and it's a long time before the next major item. So Sparty secures this, can cycle back round to try and find his opponent, and he knows now he's got a window of 30 seconds or so to try and make that pressure count.
Gets a little bit of overstack and I have a pocket totem. Sparty's looking really good if he can just catch out Kilson while that Ghostwalk is on cooldown, and it looks like it might be on this Mega as well. Here's the time shards. Can he get the damage? There's the LG, but the Mega will still go to Kilson, but Kilson needs to fight for this. Doesn't have Ghostwalk, does escape through the telly after damage is dealt mutually here. Stacks about even. Ooh, that's a good rail. But just like that, again, the overstack is just too strong from Sparty right there. He takes a rail, no problem. I got a pocket totem, I'll have overstack, it'll be fine.
Slow as it's played, at least we get lots of time to actually observe the lovely textures of this map.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Good machine gun from above. Kilson completely unaware of Sparty's position there. Ooh, and a fantastic rail from Sparty. He's heating up right now, putting the pressure on. Kilson needs to be careful here.
Well, we also know that the way this is played so far, next frag will inevitably win it. If the previous minute has got to go by, and there we go. Sparty's got that frag. Will it win it, however? Kilson does spawn, finds a totem, knocked away that overstack for now. And Sparty's stack is significant. It is his pick. He's clearly got a plan, a strategy. That was slightly greedy from Kilson as well to hold on for the Ghostwalk as long as he did, and he knows now he needs to be more aggressive than he has been.
Oh, the rail, but the LG from Kilson is going to be strong enough. The shotgun comes out. He just needs to find some damage, and he does. With the fadeaway, moonwalking over the acid, Sparty up 3-1, and he's got a little something up his sleeve. I think he's really relying on that overstack. He had it. He has a game plan, and he's working it right now. He just needs to be careful here. Up 2 minutes left. This is looking like a really, really big opportunity for Sparty to run away with this, literally.
He doesn't need to play complicated at all. No need to overextend. Keep control of at least one of the major items, and he will be doing enough. As you said, he's lost all of his totems now, so he's more vulnerable than he has been for nearly 6 minutes of this game.
Ooh, that rocket could have been a lot better.
And it's used aggressively, but Kilson's weak, so he can't follow this up immediately. He needs to double back, pick up at least a light. Mega's up soon as well. Once he's got that, he'll be in a bit better fighting shape. There is a minute to go, and it is obviously the Galena that's holding on to this victory. So
Kilson's so close to death right now. Just one more machine gun bullet would have done it as he forces him off the heavy. Mega is up.
So the task at hand is lesser than if it was the Nyx being chased.
And Sparty doesn't even want to go for the heavy. He had plenty of time to try and dive on it and grab it, but instead he's leaving it up. Could be very dangerous, as if Kilson comes back into this room to grab it, he's going to have a monstrous stack to work with.
He is, and that's a problem, but at the same time, this is Sparty's real... He can't afford to get railed. Actually, Kilson's going the right way. He's heard him. He needs to chase. Ghostwalk's popped. Sparty sees it, doubles back. Goes back into the corridor. He wants to take a fight close quarters, but the rockets on the stairs are always going to be difficult on that angle. And Sparty, my friend, was that the wrong decision? Kilson's setting up for a rail, misses one, misses two. Sparty doesn't have any weapons though, but he does have a shotgun.
And we've seen it time and time again. You take your foot off the gas too much, and then you end up just giving it all away. Playing not to lose instead of playing to win. That's kind of what we saw in this case. It's just going to be for sudden death, but it could be Sparty's downfall here. He's got a shotgun and LG to his name, totem in the pocket, and that's about it.
You can see him holding onto his totem. He knows if there's an engagement, he needs to pull back on it rather than trying to regain his stack advantage as he did before. Moves away from the heavy, but he does hear it spawn, and he also heard the use of that ghost walk, so he knows if Kilson commits, he is vulnerable. That's a negatory rocket from Kilson.
Very fortunate for Sparty, as now he's just playing all kinds of tele games here, and he's going to get in on the Mega. That's good, but he's only got shotgun. He still doesn't have rockets, and he barely has any LG. He needs to be very careful here as he's making his way back onto the 50 shard. Kilson knows, and he takes advantage. There's one rail, and there's the hit and run. Is it going to be enough? The rockets come out, and this could be it. 12 HP. Kilson looking for it. He's got the shotgun. He just needs to find the angle. He's waiting on a totem. Sparty praying for the totem to come out, and there it is. And he actually runs into it.
No way.
What a game of hide and go seek here. His merry-go-round is crazy, and somehow Sparty survives, and Kilson gets frustrated and says, "I'm out. This is garbage."
What? I would genuinely not be surprised if that's what he literally said. I don't know what he was doing, why he didn't just pop the ghost walk off the bat.
Yeah, push a corner. Instead, like he was playing this game, and that's
I
exactly
get that
what
the
Sparty
shotgun
wanted.
is scary, but come on, man.
Well, he doesn't want to risk a thing. Again, money, money, money per map. So rounding the 2-minute mark of sudden death here. And props to Sparty, being very patient, not gambling at all on a shotgun blast around the corner, waiting. The totem came down that gave him enough health to escape. And, you know, keeping your cool under that kind of pressure is a big deal. So Sparty lives to see another day, and he grabs the heavy, and now he's not looking so bad.
No, he's looking very pretty. He's also felt more confident enough to start laying the totems down as well. He's found here the ghost walk goes early. Sparty doubles back around the pillars. He's very good. He's got his dancing shoes on today. Kilson's managed to trap himself in a corner. Does hit a couple of good rails though. The question is, can you catch Sparty? Because he's not been doing it successfully so far. Nice skirt around the corner. There's a totem there. Lays it as a trap to try and block his opponent. Also has perfect timing on this heavy armor. They take a mid-range engagement. Neither one wants to commit as we do fall back to somewhat of a stalemate.
Sparty gets in on the 50 shard on the Mega in time and cleanly, and that's going to be very, very important here. As the battle rages on, 3 minutes in sudden death. Not so sudden anymore, huh, ZSX?
No, kind of forgot we were in sudden death actually. But it is. It's been a one-game wins it for one frag wins it for quite a while. Neither one wanted to commit. Kilson using the ghost walk. I like the use of it this match. Sparty actually hangs around. He wants to take this fight. Oh, if he hit that rail, it would have been so sweet. But he's still got an opportunity here if he can catch Kilson over by the heavy.
Oh no, the totem almost did the job for him as Kilson has less than 50 HP. Sparty looking very strong. Can he make a mad dash for the heavy? He will, and this is all in Sparty's favor. Now he just has to hunt as Kilson trying to stack back up off whatever he can.
Yeah,
Sparty
and
knows it.
there's not really that many accessible time vials on this map as well. So Sparty knows he's got quite the window, but every second does mean that Ghostwalk drags him nearer. He's caught him over by the Mega, and it's still not up. There's a good 10 seconds left. Can Sparty finish it? Instead, he knows Kilson's gone. He doubles back round. He wants to get back to this heavy, and we fall back into this rhythm of rail games.
Oh, that's a good totem, but the rocket from Kilson is good. The follow-up not good enough, but he's pushing in. He
No
wants it all right
way!
here. And somehow, I think that wall jump saved his life from that rocket.
My word. I mean,
Put
there
the
needed
beat
to be
on
a
him.
play. Yeah, there needed to be a play, and Kilson made it happen, but really
Wow.
fortunate to actually come away with the frag.
Yeah, I mean, if that's kind of a preview of what we're going to see in later picks of Koth, then very interesting. Again, we kind of figured the Nyx-Galena matchup would be slow. So it was interesting to see the overstack play from Sparty. I knew he had a little something up his sleeve, and that's really all you can do with Galena is just bank on the overstack.
Yeah, and you could see the play style from Sparty. It was all about trying to set up traps. There was no urgency in his play whatsoever. He did match up as well as he could every time an engagement went through. Did feel that Kilson was slightly lost at times. And yeah, the overstack for the first good 5-6 minutes at least was very powerful. In the end, it was a stalemate for the final 5 minutes of overtime, and it took a super aggressive play for Kilson to manufacture the victory.
And you can't help but think that if Kilson just pushed around one of those pillars aggressively and committed to an angle and a side, maybe we wouldn't have seen that, as Sparty literally danced around one of those poles for a good 30 seconds until he had a totem and then somehow escaped. And that was, again, a testament to how, calm under pressure Sparty can be. Or maybe just not aware of the danger he's in. Either way, it kind of worked out. But 4-3, Kilson will take that one. First ever Tower of Koth in Quake Pro League, and it was a close one.
Yeah, it was a close one. It felt like it was in Sparty's hands for quite a lot of that game. Kilson managed to keep his composure and draw it back, which was full credit to him.
Yep, rips it out of Sparty's cold dead hands, puts that money in his pocket. But map number 2 we got coming up. Blood Covenant Ranger versus Athena, a little more traditional here. And earlier you said you like Athena on Blood Covenant. Do you like Sparty's Athena on Blood Covenant?
I can't remember the last time I've seen Sparty play Athena on at all, really. I mean, I've seen a lot of Athena, so I may well have done. But if I have, it hasn't stuck in my memory, which is means it hasn't blown me away, but it also wasn't terrible. So I'm not too sure. I think Range is a great pick as well. You could definitely use that orb very effectively. We saw Effortless earlier in the day using it powerfully, I think is the adjective I'd use on Corrupted Keep. So it also works particularly well with the verticality of Blood Covenant, and you can close the gap on Athena, which is sometimes a challenge, and Ranger has that in his disposal. Also, the rocket jump is something that we talk about a lot. The passive is very powerful, particularly on this map.
Yeah, you're going to absolutely need a combination of both to catch the Athena. The verticality of her on this map is just insane, and she could be in and out very, very quickly. But that Tower of Koth, that's going to stand out in my head. I can't wait to see more of those maps in Quake Pro League, and also different champs, because Ranger, can you imagine the Dire Orb setups you have across the map with Ranger and stuff like that on that map? It would be crazy.
Wonder if the orb would actually reach the other side of the map before it timed out, though.
It can. I think you can go from heavy to mega. I've done some setups. I've been in the lab a little bit, and you can, and there's some very interesting positional plays you could do with the Ranger Dire Orb. But that's in the past now, possibly in the future. We're going to get into map number 2, Blood Covenant. Kilson, Sparty, we got Athena, and we got Ranger, and we got money on the line for every map.
Who are you going to side with?
Exciting.
Who are you going to side with?
I'll probably go Kilson, but if Sparty can just grab a rail and just do his Sparty party thing where he's just railing and hooking everywhere, he could probably get this one. But I think Kilson, the way that you previously described, he just middle map control, rail, attack. Middle map control, rail, attack. And that's the key to success.
I mean, that's the way Kilson likes to play. He'll set up on that mid ground, up on the bridge, up on the rocket, and he'll bide his time until the opportunity is right. And being Ranger, he has plenty of tools to create these opportunities as well as then to follow up. So it definitely plays into his play style. But we already see off the bat Sparty with that rail, something he's going to have to use very effectively if he wants to win this game.
And slight miscalculation. I think he thought he had one more hook to make it back to the rockets, but unfortunately falls down to the blood pool. But no real damage done here as he goes through the telly. Both players miss their rails, and he wants to try and get some damage on this heavy. Peeks out, and Kilson is so ready for that.
And Kilson already will have the opportunity to get onto both major items. Back-to-back rails. He just needs to hit one more. Doesn't even need to hit a rail. He could have swapped a machine gun. Great hook to keep alive for now. Kilson knows that the Athena will still be very weak. He's just biding his time below. Kilson actually loses track of his opponent, but here's him down, picking up the light. Doesn't want to overcommit though.
Again, such patient play from Sparty as we saw earlier. Oh, hooks in, and that is not the hook he wanted. Sparty tips his hat to Kilson there. That was a good trap at the rockets, and the rocket bump kind of ruining that hook out. Kilson will put himself on the board 1-0, and a great rail and forces him on the jump pad, but a great hook to make sure he doesn't go back up to his sure death.
But now
Sparty's still reeling.
Time difference between both the major items has grown once again, so this next rotation is going to be Kilson's. Already setting up with the Dire Orb. Sparty's going to be there, but at what cost?
Good machine gun takes a mega, and that forces him to jump onto it. His 43 HP is very railable. The rockets raining down from Kilson. Not landing damage. And I like the thought process from Sparty. I'm going to take this fight as long as I can and then fall back onto the mega. But even after all of that, Kilson's LG is just too strong. Melts him down, and he might be able to get a little something off this spawn, and he does. Sparty, the nail gun. Kilson trying to find some health, and Sparty's there with the nail gun to make it rain. Great rail from Sparty. Is he going to drop down? And the rocket, actually, the orb up from Kilson, and he wants this LG battle, and there's the hook around the corner, 44 HP. That's crazy from Kilson, but he makes it work. 3-1, super aggressive play with that Dire Orb, but the damage is there.
Yeah, Sparty will probably be a little bit frustrated that what he also misses out on this heavy, which means he's going to take a lot of damage, if not go down. Oh, no. The hook gets cut off mid-hook, and that's painful. 2 mistakes back to back has now cost Sparty potentially another frag, as this lead is growing very quickly from Kilson. And Sparty needs to sell himself down a bit. I'd like to see him play a bit more positional and use that rail, because at the moment he's just being picked off, and it's very much the Kilson show.
Yeah, it's starting to be the Railson show, hitting 57%, heating up, no signs of stopping. 4-1 on Blood Covenant here. Sparty has full hooks, and he hears the sound cue here. LG's not the weapon you want from there. He switches to HMG, grabs the mega, and gets out. And that's going to be huge.
It feels like it's been a series of the same play every single time.
Yep. Ooh, the hook actually does some damage after Kilson takes the orb. So after Sparty grabs that 50, stacks are close to even. Kilson with a little bit more armor, and this is going to be a battle for the heavy here. As Kilson takes a rail, that's a great job from Sparty to force him off and grab the heavy. Crucial rail there. Ooh, that's a really nice falling rail here, but gives up position. Almost gets another one on the way out. Needs to dodge that rocket. Coming in like a wrecking ball, and the LG from Kilson's going to be so strong. There's the hook away, and you can't run away from Kilson's rail.
No, slightly unnecessary move. There wasn't a reason for Sparty to go as aggressively as he needed and close the gap on Kilson, who was more than ready for that.
Oh. Kilson with a bit of a flub there with the rocket jump, but Sparty doesn't have the right weapon out to damage, output any damage. 5 rockets, needs to double back, and that's all he has, rocket and machine gun. He's going to want to re-up his arsenal here, and that's a great rail from Kilson. And another one. DJ Khaled out here. Ooh, to the heavens he goes after that rocket, and Sparty will get away for the time being. Will the rail land? Does he have any? LG will finish it here, as it looks like this one might be a bit of a blowout. 6-1, 5 minutes in. Kind of the danger zone right now for Sparty.
Sparty doesn't know how to deal with the methodical play of Kilson, just picking him off with rail time after time after time, and Sparty himself isn't putting anywhere enough emphasis on taking up rail positions. He's just trying to get away from Kilson, who is just picking him off as he does so.
So in this kind of position, if you were Sparty, how would you try and approach the situation? You got 4:30 left, you're down 5. And your opponent's hitting like every rail they shoot. And there's the Dire Orb to close the gap. A little bit of rocket damage from Sparty, but he is railable. Needs to be careful here as he hears the drop down and he makes his way back towards the Mega, trying to get a stack going.
He knows what Kilson's game plan is. Kilson is not even looking at the Mega. He just wants to deal damage on it. So you want to try and delay that heavy pickup, deal some damage on it. And then as he's going to rocket jump up or Dire Orb up, you know what pathing he's going to take. Try and cut that off. And from there, you can then follow up. But you can see the maneuverability of Ranger is just as good as the Athena. And Sparty can't even track him down. He hasn't even got a rail. So a priority has to be getting that rail to try and stay on this map. Otherwise, that happens. You're just going to get picked off.
Goes up the jump pad. Good LG here. 50 shard taken by Kilson on the upper area. Yet still no rail here. Still needs to grab that 3:30 left. Still 5 frags to try and make up. He's also got low ground. Does go up the jump pad uncontested here. I thought Kilson might peek out and get another free rail here. He's hitting a lot. It's dropped down to 50, but still.
Yeah, but he's done over double the damage of Sparty with that weapon. Sparty needs to get timing on that heavy. Looking over at it, it was taking a good 10 seconds previously. Interesting.
Sparty, I guess, scrolled over some food on his mouse pad there. It's okay. Happens to the best of us. A little bit of cheesecake in the mouse.
And Kilson's very much slowed the pace down now. 5 frag lead, 2.5 minutes to go. Doesn't need to overextend, so playing slow. He hits a couple of rails, that's when we'll see the momentum shift once again, but at this point in time, he's happy to play choke points and give Sparty a little bit more breathing room than he had in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, really no need to force anything from Kilson's end. Just play plus back like that. Keep eyes on the items and hit these rails, and I think he's going to cruise to victory here. There's 2:10 left on the clock. The pressure's on Sparty. He's going to come around the corner. Rails will miss from both players here. Sparty closing the gap, and now Kilson's the one to play very, very silent from underneath. Good rocket as he drops down, but Sparty has to chase. Misses with the rail from around the corner. And again, all of this time just being eaten up by Kilson. He's in a very good position to just take this one.
He is. It's difficult to see where the frags come from Sparty now. I don't feel that there's really been a single opening.
Great Dire Orb from Kilson there.
Yeah, Kilson's just working his way around the map and outmaneuvering Sparty at this point in time. Doesn't feel that we've seen a lot of the benefit of the Athena come through. There's been some good hooks, don't get me wrong, but it was once again it's been keep me alive level hooks, dropping down from the Mega rather than being proactive with that ability.
Yeah, a lot of let me try and get out without taking damage rather than I'm closing the gap with shotgun or, you know, around the corner to get a rail angle on an exit. You're absolutely right. And Kilson has such a big stack. He's got Dire Orb up with a minute left, 5 down. Kilson looks to be taking this map as Sparty's hooking around trying to find his opponent. Kilson's okay with just using all these sound cues to absolutely stay away. And there's a good rocket, maybe into rail. Doesn't pull out the rail, in fact. And I don't know what Kilson's doing, but okay, he's just waiting on the orb. That's fine. He's just like, wait for it. Everybody hold. And then he just blasts him in the face.
It's just the icing on the cake of a very simple map for Kilson. There, the first 3-4 minutes at least were rinse and repeat. It was pick up the heavy, rocket jump up to the bridge, jump across, hit 2 rails and Sparty, track him down, kill him. That was kind of the process for Kilson. And Sparty didn't do enough to alter that momentum.
There's the rocket jump away. What another great defensive rail. Doesn't even want to give up this one. He's like, no, you get nothing. Good day, sir. You lose. 8-1 for map number 2 for Kilson as he stole away the first one. Second one was a lot more convincing. Could be on his way to a third, and I think you said clean sweep 3-0. It's looking quite probable.
I'm usually correct, so.
Sure.
But
out of professional courtesy, I'll say sure.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, the first one was as close as it could be, but it did seem that Sparty was a lot more comfortable on Koth than Kilson was, whereas this one, yeah, another day at the office for Kilson. He had his play style. Ranger fits that perfectly. I don't, as we said, don't feel that the Athena really did a lot in this game. Could have been any champion, and the result would have been the same. If anything, better. But new map, new day. As we do move on, and Sparty's going to have to be, for me, slightly more proactive than he was in this map.
Yep, and the third map is going to be Molten, Kilson on the Visor, Sparty on the Strog. But I think that was kind of the key, is that Athena could have been any champion, since Athena Sparty didn't utilize Athena in a way that was like, wow, Athena can do that, and that's why he won that fight, or that's why he made that cutoff. It was more of escaping, and that's really about it. It's just survivability rather than cutoffs, choke point, exits, stuff like that. So that was the deciding factor, it feels like, and Kilson just a highlight reel in map number 2.
Yep. It's nice to watch Kilson win that kind of stride, because it is so simple but also so effective. It's not going out and being super flashy, it's just effective play, positioning well and executing cleanly.
Yeah, and he's so good at that, so consistent at that too. And it's hard to kind of break through, as we saw Sparty struggling, didn't really have an answer for it. And we'll see if he can put together a little something map number 3, but I have a feeling you're going to stay true to your 3-0. And I don't blame you. Kilson looking really strong in this series again. The first map, extremely close, but it was also a newer map that could be really anything. Galena with the overstack, huge, and I look forward to seeing that map played, as well as Deep Embrace, more and more throughout the season, because that meta is going to shift and kind of create, and we're going to see crazy plays with different champions on those different maps. But Nyx Galena was a little bit rough to watch in terms of, you know, people making plays and going out of their way to do anything. It was a lot slower paced, but Kilson still pulled it out, and now he's up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, I think if you take away the Nyx from that map, you can actually have some really exciting fast-paced games on that map, and I'm excited to see Deep Embrace get into competitive play. I know it hasn't been picked so far, but I do like the look of that map and the way I've seen it played before. And it could be really fun. So hopefully we get to see some of that moving forward, but we're not in this series.
Unfortunately, it is just a tease here, but map number 3 is not a tease, as we're going to load up Molten Falls, Molten Falls Visor versus Strog. You think any big peeker plays from Sparty? You think it was just kind of the crouch slide pick? I mean, crouch slide is huge on Molten, having that kind of versatility to traverse the map very quickly, especially against a Visor. It's great if you could see where, you know, your opponent is, but if he's in your face in 2 seconds, it doesn't really matter, especially if you've got a shotgun. So we'll kind of see how Sparty plays it, but it might be more of the same, in my opinion. I'm going to kind of side with you on Kilson taking the 3-0.
Yeah, once again, the Visor plays into Kilson's playstyle. You've got the traditional VQ3 movement, you have the piercing sight, so you can just keep control, keep that position up, get the piercing sight going, hit some rails, and then capitalize. To your point, I think Peeker is always very important, and it's very good on Molten because you've got both major items on a recess, so you can use the Peeker to get out and scout around, deal some damage if they're trying to peek over the top. But it is the crouch sliding, and also the health file that drops off of opponent's death is also something that's completely underrated, because it gives you that additional boost off the back of frags to then go on the offense.
Absolutely, yeah. Very underrated perk of Strog here, is already 1 rail for Kilson right off the bat here, trying to heat up. Misses with the second. Sparty taking it slow with the shotgun, just trying to figure out exactly where Kilson is before he dives onto that rocket. There's the peeker play. Taking his sweet time. There's the flight, and that's absolutely perfect into the tri-ball. That was well played from Sparty.
Nice opening from Sparty. Done a lot of damage, but gives away the Mega for free, and Kilson's in position to deal some damage on the exit of the Heavy as well. Sparty, though, does retaliate well with a nice rail tri-bot combo, but they're both just trading damage at this point in time. Sparty definitely comes off a lot healthier, though.
I really like Sparty hitting that opening rail, but always switching to tri-bolt for the follow-up instead of going for another peak rail. That way he can kind of feather like the 3 tri-bolts rather than having to be super precise with the rail, and just get a little bit of splash damage and force him out. So I'd like to see more of that from Sparty, as he leaves the Mega up. He's just going to play the sound cue and then add a delay, so now he can attack as he wishes here.
Yeah, I think the spam of those rockets will give information to Kilson that there is some trickery going on. He now sees Sparty dropping down, so he will know that there's something that's happened, although he won't have perfect timing. And Sparty's put a very sizable delay on, so he's confident in himself to keep the pressure on, take this Mega Heavy away, and secure map control. Kilson, though, lovely skirts around there to hit that cheeky rail, and maybe he didn't realize.
And this is exactly what Sparty wanted. He has the heavy, and now he has all the time in the world to drop in on this Mega. Kilson waiting. He knows something's up. And there's the peek over, and there's the drop. And this should be a frag as the Mega goes to Sparty. But somehow, Kilson with the rockets makes his great escape.
It was so close to going to plan, but the rockets were not on script. So Kilson gets away to live to fight another day, but in his stead, Kilson is alive and healthy enough to take a fight. Sparty does get a free heavy, but he's only got a 50 armor advantage so far. It's not a lot. If Kilson gets the opening damage, which he does, he's nullified it, and now he's the one in the advantage. Sparty's in a bad position here. He has to give up this Mega.
That is so painful, crouch sliding around the corner into a shaft there as Kilson stack advantage him. Peeker is in Sparty's pocket if he wants to try and scout it out and make sure this is safe. Heavy's going to be up shortly. Kilson waiting patiently. There's some rockets, and there's the Peeker play. Kilson has to deal with that. Tri-Bolt coming out, not landing, and again, the drive-by rail from Kilson almost goes 2 for 2 and gets that frag. Sparty will somehow survive after that altercation, but Kilson's just doing so much damage. Yeah, double the damage so far.
Sparty's actually made some really good plays. It's just not been clinical enough, whereas Kilson has done what he's needed to do to halt that momentum. And look at the stacks now. He's in prime position to get onto this heavy. He's going to be a bit late, but he's done. What a rail from above. The vertical rail, and he will be able to move in here for the kill as Sparty tries to fight, but it's not going to be enough. He's done a decent amount of damage, but the piercing sight's up, so he can protect himself if any shenanigans are happening. And wow, 3 minutes of being on the back foot, and all it takes is one engagement, and Kilson comes away with the lead.
Just such a beautiful jump over vertical rail. And again, those are just so hard to hit, but Kilson makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
As you said, puts him on the board, gives him the frag lead, and does have to deal with the Peeker, but it's only delaying the inevitable here as Kilson looks like this is a free heavy. Rockets being spammed from Sparty, nothing will connect. Business as usual here is Visor will have vision back up as well, so he could set a trap on this Mega. Sparty, are you going to do it?
Don't do it.
Oh no, he did it at the worst time too, but he gets away. He gets away for what it's worth. That could have been a lot worse.
Could have been. I don't know what that drop was. It was a panic drop. As you said, he gets away, and he's actually really healthy, all things considered. But you can see this is very much Kilson's game now. Slow, steady, methodical, just waiting for the piercing sight. As soon as that's up, tempo changes, and Kilson goes on the aggressive. But Sparty's finding it difficult to lock down his opponent, and another frag.
Just very patient with the rockets. Knew he had enough stack to take all that LG. Precision placement and gets the second frag. He is very weak though, so Sparty's done well to give himself an opening, but now it's a matter of trying to find that frag. Kilson playing very slow, wants to try and work off this 50 shard, but there is around the corner, and good trap by Sparty.
Nice.
Knowing that he was going to have to live off one of those 50 shards and taking advantage, and a great rail off the spawn. No. Can he get the kill? Almost before the heavy. And Kilson actually fighting with his shotgun, saying, you're not going to drop down. There's no way. Tri-Bolt in the face. He does eat a rail on his way out, but Sparty heating up a little bit.
Was so close to being perfect, just missed probably the easier of the two rails, and Kilson gets away. You don't want to give Kilson a lifeline as this is what happens, but Sparty ties it up.
The response from Sparty on the rail is fantastic. Kilson going through the telly, steals a rail of his own, steals the heavy, but he might die right here. 27 HP, doesn't have anything to work with really except for a rail, and somehow survives. Sparty was so incredibly weak as well. Could have been anyone's frag there. Kilson looks really healthy and he wants this Mega.
It's really frustrating for Sparty because every time he makes these plays, they're good plays, but somehow Kilson is hitting the clutchest of rails in all situations, and it just nullifies everything Sparty set out to do. And we could see once again that rail just at the pivotal time that Sparty now has to back off and can't contest for either major item. It's going to hang around, just trying to get some information on the whereabouts of Kilson, but thought he sensed a spooky German ghost and jumps up the jump pad.
And this ghost going on the offensive here, pops the vision and spots him out, and just like that, Sparty is out of there. Doesn't get a 50 shard, but still so much weaker than Kilson. The stack is just absolutely in favor of the German here. He's going to grab yet another heavy to add on to it. Sparty's got to start hitting some of those rails. The hit and run only works if you hit. It's tied 2-2. There's the peeker, dealt with nicely there. Kilson's just so on form right now, running the map, hitting everything he needs to. I'm sure he wants to open this up with a good rail there. Oh, and there's the LG Sparty in the wrong part of town. Absolutely obliterated.
And this is why it's so difficult to play Kilson, because as slow as it appears that he's playing, his posturing and positioning on the map is incredibly aggressive. You know he's hovering around that mid ground, and he just makes your life a misery, because if you overstep or make a wrong turn, he's waiting for you. So he's always in the right position. And when he's on form and he hits all these clutch rails, it's impossible to build a stack.
As he pops the vision and gets on the heavy again, just absolutely knows exactly where Sparty pretty much at all times, making it incredibly difficult for Sparty to get the jump on him at all, especially with the stack advantage. For now, the stacks are about even. Sparty just coming around the corner all willy-nilly, eating a lot of rails, maybe a little bit of rocket, no damage landing, but Kilson knows he's up to, and he doesn't need to force anything here as time is ticking away.
And it's just difficult to lock him down, to trap him to deal any damage. It's such a feature of his play that Kilson will always out-damage you. And Sparty's done a good job so far, another clutch rail, but he has to take a risk, and unfortunately Kilson's responding in kind with the piercing sight up. Will it be a frag for Sparty here? He's got the starting shotgun, but it's just tickling him.
The starting shotgun is nowhere near as good as its older brother here, as again, Sparty trying to make it rain, but he can't. And Kilson with the defensive rockets will just keep adding to his lead.
And I
It
think
looks like this one is going to be all his again.
Yeah, I think that will be the GG. And it's one of those games where it feels like it was so close, but in reality, it was very much in Kilson's control as soon as he got this map, as soon as he got control. Blood Covenant, once again, it felt and looked close, but again, it never really was. Kilson had that from start to finish, and so just another day at the office for Kilson, whereas Sparty, particularly on the first map, should have walked away with that victory. And that mistake of deciding to camp out instead of going for an item cost him.
Yeah, the swap and mentality of playing not to lose rather than playing to win really cost him.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for that, and I think a minute and a half out when you don't really have anything to work with is not the time. And this map, he looked good for the first few minutes, but then we saw the power of Kilson come into play when he got himself control.
Indeed, and that will do it. It's done and dusted. It's in the books. 3-0 for the German. As you predicted, you are always right, GSX. But more importantly, we saw a new map in Quake Pro League, okay? And that's exciting. Tower of Koth, again, not as high-flying as we wanted, but Nyx and Galena, a slow-paced game, players settling into how to play and what champs to play. I'm just looking forward to seeing more of that map and hopefully some deep embrace in the coming weeks. But that wraps it up. Kilson takes it over Sparty. Just overall solid play we saw again, time and time again, as you've mentioned. Holding middle map, being able to cut off wherever he wants, and after he hits that opening rail or two, he has the path, he has the trajectory to go exactly to cut off where you're going to be and get that frag.
Yeah, it's a textbook way to play dueling Quake Champions. So if you're looking for a starting point for how do I get into this game, and how do I play, and how do I succeed, this is one of the most effective styles. And Kilson is a master of it and makes it look easy. Obviously, it definitely helps that he has incredible mechanical skill to back it up, and it's something that makes it look easier than it is, because he opens up these angles to hit these incredible shots. So he's obviously the full package, and being a former champion, that's why. So he's always going to be a favorite going into these type of series, and when you have that playstyle, this is why it's always tough to go up against him.
100%. And if you are looking to get into it, head over to quake.pglesports.com for all of the information you need for both Challengers and Pro League. All the stats, all the breakdowns of maps won, and all that sweet, sweet money. Because that's all anyone cares about is dollar bills, is on that site. So head over there again, quake.pglesports.com. And I believe Challenger starts next week. So who knows? Through the coming weeks, we might see the rise of new talent, new blood, and they might fight their way into the Pro League.
And just on the last point of Kilson, you could see from that scoreboard that the item distribution was pretty much even, but the damage was not. It was 3,800 damage to 2,400. And that just goes to show the way Kilson plays. He's not the type of player to strangle you out by absorbing and taking away all the items. He'll let you have your own space. But it's a trap. He will be watching you and waiting for you. So that's why it's such a scary play style.
And look at those numbers from the set there. Just really high numbers, hitting everything, looking like a champion as he's been before. So shouts to Kilson and shouts to you. 3-0, you were right. You win. I concede.
Thanks, man.
You're like, yeah, just another day in the office for me too, and Kilson. But that'll wrap up series number 3. But we got 4 more on the way for today. And the last 2, DJ Wheat, the man, the myth, the legend, will be joining us. So stay tuned. Lots more Quake coming up. Don't go anywhere. I need a coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm going to get one too. My game is fucked.